Sound a little bit husky, but it's okay. Make it work. Just keeping an eye on the Altona game because it does affect this one. Right? Fort Melbourne, South Altona, and it's 0-0 so far. The good thing for us is when this kicks off, it should be.
The code of behaviour. It is important that all spectators at the Football Federation Victoria approved fixture are able to enjoy the match in a safe and comfortable environment. Accordingly, each person present at the FFV fixture must A. Respect the decisions of the match officials. B. Respect the rights, dignity and worth of every person regardless of race, colour, religion, language, politics, national or ethnic origin. C. Not engage in the use of violence. May be as other spectators, team officials, including coaches or players. D. Not engage in discrimination.
Good evening, wherever you may be watching in Victoria, around the nation, or indeed all over the globe, and welcome to Dandenong. It is round 9 of NPL Victoria Men's, and we have the Thunder up against Port Melbourne on what is a clear, albeit crisp, evening in the southeast of Melbourne. Don't be fooled by the sunshine, autumn is well and truly here to stay. It might be a chilly one ahead, but for the Thunder, there is the warmth of returning home as they are unbeaten on their own patch so far this season. A defeat last time out at Oakley on the road won't halt the momentum of 4 straight wins prior to that, and they have the perfect opportunity to rebound and continue their pressure on Avondale, who currently lead the league. For Port Melbourne, it's been a bit of a rough start on the road, yet to win away from home. However, they will bring the momentum of a thrilling stoppage time victory over Preston last Friday night in what was a truly amazing contest. I'm Ethan Rigg, here to take you all through it on what should be a truly intriguing Saturday once more. Just quickly, in the early kick-off this evening, just prior to half-time, Altona and South Melbourne, the deadlock yet to be broken in that game, as Port Melbourne eyes will also have just one turned towards the events at Paisley Park. For the teams this evening, Jamie Young starts in between the sticks for the Thunder, Daniel Alessi, Yuki Yoshida, Kyle Taylor, Wade Decker, Daniel Clark, Jay Romanovsky, Hassan Jalot, Tis van Amarongam and Ben Jeeba all completes their starting 11. And for the visitors, it will be Luka Romic in between the sticks, Owen McCloskey, Riyad Muyet, Anthony Laban, Nicholas Jibb, Mitch Trajewski, Hanamo Kamis, Jonathan Vakertzis, Thomas Alessandratos, Joshua Markowski and Daniel Serra. as Dandenong Thunder get things underway on a game where anticipation is well and truly the word. Van Amerongen, he rolls wide for Alessi. They work it for Jiba. Over on that right-hand side, Jamie Young, this is a sequence you'll see very often as he likes to venture out. Van Amerongen, former Meti. Bursting run before it ran out of room. But the Thunder wanting to start quickly. Port Melbourne may be feeling the pressure of an away record which has not been desired so far this season. However, there is never a better night to change it. A victory, if the result ends all square at Paisley Park, may even take them to within the edge of the bottom three in a season where they will want to avoid relegation at all costs. It has certainly been a shell-shocking start, but 2 wins in their last 5 suggests that their fortunes may well and truly be turning for the better. It may break for them, trying to keep some early possession in order to counteract the Dandenong Thunder, who have been known to look to make a fast start, all but against Avondale in that 2-1 win last time out at home. What could both teams conjure this evening? Who well and truly knows? Alessi one up. Jallo appeals for offside. He might have come back. It falls for Decker, who finds him again out wide. Has one to beat. Chooses Yoshida. Jallo once more. Now Jiba. Nothing doing. He returns to Alessi. Van Amerongen. Thunder choosing to exercise patience early. Jiba. It's a factor of what they've done so far this season. Looking to make this pitch as wide as possible at George Andrews. Jamie Young. Now Van Amerongen. Has space to roam. He's got the captain's armband this evening. Does the Dutch centre-half. Mehmeti. Lovely ball inside. Decker made it work. But the official's flag on the far side goes up. He may have gone just a touch too early. But for the Thunder so far, possession important. As Muyet. He finds Romic. Port wanting to feel their way. They might want to warm into a cold Saturday evening. As Romic trying to jaw the press. Jallo was the one who obliged him. He looked long. Mehmeti one up. Searching ball for Alisandratos. Not a bad person to pick out, as he was the one who scored the winner in stoppage time last week. How dramatic that was against Preston, and what a big 3 points that could prove to be. Vakertis. Thunder certainly first to it. He got away from Taylor. Vakertis kept going. Van Amerongen might be there to sweep up. He's got 2 on the press. Jamie Young doesn't take any chances. He clears long. Vakertis up again. Port Melbourne looking to keep pressing forward. Leban. Had 2 Thunder faces. Nice little 1-2, but in the end, they run themselves into a little bit of a cul-de-sac, and Romanovsky is able to steal in. It's a venture down this right-hand side for Port Melbourne. They're able to work it to the byline. It's a teasing ball in, and Jamie Young had to get a palm off it at the expense of the game's first corner. Lovely bit of work from Vakertis again. And Port Melbourne have the possibility of getting the centre-halves forward. Camise venturing towards that penalty spot. Jallo and Jiba delegate who's to mark. It's whipped in, looking for him. Jiba went up, didn't quite get there. Stab on goal. Comes to no avail. Alisandratos. A bit of a sighter for their first attempt. And Dandy Thunder dealt with it well enough, having not been first to clear and giving the opportunity away. Can hear the calls of don't press it. They're happy to let Jamie Young have possession. Nearly runs himself into trouble. Van Amerongen. Now Alessi. Lovely ball to find Decker. That's a smashing turn. He was pulled back. And already in the early stages, we have the game's first booking. Serra into the book early. He will be walking the tightest of ropes for the remainder of this game. was a gorgeous turn away from Decker, who just looked to burst beyond and get the Thunder on the attack. Potentially tactical, as you might be able to get away with your first one. Certainly not on this occasion. Young. Now Mehmeti. Back with Jamie Young. 84.5 minutes. Serra will be walking the tightrope. Taylor. Hustled by Alisandratos. Now Van Amerongen. Lovely interplay between them. Taylor chooses to go back. Port Melbourne press not too bad, but the Thunder break it. And now Alessi has room to roam. Jiba. Driving. Yoshida. Van Amerongen. Mehmeti. Taylor. Switches wide for Alessi, who has Jiba down the line if he chooses. He finds him. Has one to beat. Lovely ball for Decker. They work it well. Decker still going. Challenge flies in, and the Dandenong Thunder will have their first corner as a result. There's a lovely sequence down that right-hand side. Jiba's ball into the channel was weighted. Decker took it sharply on the turn, not for the first time this evening already. He looks like he may pose a handful. It's Taylor's corner. Yoshida darts near post. He goes for him. Looks to give on the return. Heavy. Taylor keeps it alive. Yoshida occupied the space. Yuki Yoshida beats his man. Fires one in low to the near post. Port Melbourne don't quite clear it. And in the end, they will get away with it for a goal kick. Khamis just flung a leg out. He was fortuitous enough that it didn't deflect back off him and give the Dandy Thunder another opportunity from a corner. There's been looks. Two sides wanting to set into their own moulds. Look at the ways to pick apart one another. Romic's ball long. Well up by Mehmeti in the end. Jiba competes on that far side with McCloskey. And it will be the Thunder throw-in. Taken quickly. Looking for Jallo. They keep it nicely. Alessi. Back with Jamie Young. Van Amerongen. Mehmeti. Refines his skipper. In turn rolls Alessi. This back three is such a feature of what the Thunder have done so far this season so well. Yoshida. It's allowed those wing-backs to provide so much width, created so many dangerous overloads. Van Amerongen. Mehmeti. Drifted wide. Clark made a darting run down the line. He looked to find him. Romanovsky might have to take over. Gets himself in between. And in the end, Muyet rops up beautifully. Could only clear as far as Clark. He finds Hassan Jallo, who's stolen a yard. Rolls it to the edge for Yuki Yoshida. Tried to work the angle. It was blocked well. It fell all the way out to Alessi. Now Jiba. Yoshida's made another darting run into that pocket. Good cutback for Wade Decker. And his first look at goal, he wasn't able to turn on target. But the Thunder already turning the screw. An action-packed opening 10 minutes. It was a lightning-quick Thunder move. Yoshida occupied the half space well. There's Romic. Muyet. They nearly play themselves into trouble, but get out of it beautifully. Laban able to open up on the break. Thunder appeals for offside, and the defensive line holds itself well enough. Much to Port Melbourne protest. Alessi. Jamie Young, Van Amerongen. Alessi once more. The press so important. Markowski trying to initiate. Van Amerongen. Mehmeti. Dutchman once more. Now Alessi. Such a coolness to the way he operates. Tried to find Decker. It broke back for Yoshida. It's Port Melbourne defence sitting a touch deeper. Holding its shape nicely. Van Amerongen. That's a lovely ball to find Clark, who drifts beyond Saban. But yet put a stop to his attack and now is gallivanting himself. Had Yoshida to beat. Took a little bit of a stumble and Jib came away with it. Yoshida pressed a bit overzealously, and this time Port Melbourne will have that free kick. Kamis. Romic. Kamis once more. Lovely ball for Liban. Clipped into the channel. Chiba was the first one to it. Decker tried to come in and make a hash of it. Chiba in the end couldn't get a ball to return down the line. But via a deflection, the Thunder will keep it. Alessi. Van Amerongen. Now Young once more. Looks to go long towards Decker in that channel. One up nicely by McCloskey. Liban. Lovely ball to find Markowski. That's beautiful. They work it well. A foot left in by Alessi. And he will now enter the book as well. One yellow card apiece. In an action-packed opening 11 minutes. Just as Port Melbourne look to storm away on the break. They'll have to start from deep once more. Romic. Muyet. Kamis. Had option short. Lovely ball down the line. McCloskey continued his run. The flag has stayed down. He tried to roll it square and eventually that flag does go up. The delayed raise causes more protest on the Port Melbourne bench. McCloskey maybe stole a yard just a touch too early. And Van Amerongen. For Alessi. Now Jamie Young. Frequent combinations for this Thunder side who know this ground oh so well. Romanovski. Mehmeti. Clark left it and Jallo stole a yard in the meantime. He's got Muyet to beat, trying to twist and turn his way around. Rolls it back for Mehmeti. That's a smashing ball in. Romic came to claim and did so confidently. That was brilliant goalkeeping. As Decker was lurking for the spillage. A truly teasing ball from Mehmeti. Whipped it right across the corridor. Trajewski. Serra. Trajewski once more. The Thunder this time happier to sit off instead of initiating that press. Muyet. Skipped his way by Jallo well. Looked to play on the switch. Chiba alert to the danger and he goes home to Jamie Young. Now Van Amerongen. Mehmeti. The pace from that early Thunder flurry seems to have fizzled in to a bit more of a methodical build-up. Yoshida for Young. Van Amerongen. Port Melbourne's confidence has gained. McCloskey able to steal more of a yard as that 5 transitions to a 4 and then a 5 once more. Decker sold it short. Port Melbourne can't make the most of it and Taylor is there to recover once more. Sheeda drifted centrally. Alessi. Young. Mehmeti's inverted. Van Amerongen finds Romanovski who takes up his space. Is the Dutchman once more. Now Mehmeti. Clips one into the channel for Jallo. That's a smashing ball. It's a lovely take. And in the end, Romic was off his line rapidly and cleverly to stifle out the danger with a hand from Kamis, who marshalled him beautifully. For Kurtzis. That's a lovely 1-2. Yoshida dived in. Port Melbourne have a free kick. And Yuki Yoshida avoids a booking. Having scored in each of his last 3 games, he avoids the book does Yoshida. But Port Melbourne have a promising free kick and a chance to load members in once more as they look to lay siege. You can see those Sharks circling the penalty area. McCloskey and Dibb stood over it. McCloskey makes way. He's drawn Romanovski. Dibb's ball in is a lovely one. Van Amerongen got up first. It broke all the way out to Camis. Face to face with Decker. Dibb once more. Tried to clip one away from Yoshida. Shouts for handball. Romanovski one in. The space opened up for Alisandratos, who twisted his way through Clark beautifully, then hit the ground. Port Melbourne protest as the Thunder may have the opportunity to break. Taylor. Van Amerongen, that press from the Sharks is well and truly still on. Mehmeti looked to clear his lines. Alisandratos made sure that wasn't possible, but the Thunder will keep the ball deep in their own half. It was frantic momentarily at the back. Mehmeti for Clark. This time he's able to clear. Jallo gives chase. Camis went up well. Taken down with so much composure by Trachevsky, then caught on it. Clark has Decker down the line advancing. The flag stays down. Decker has Yoshida arriving at the back post. He's looked to find him. Too much on it, but Yoshida recovers. Has two to beat. McCloskey's come across to provide cover. Jiba. Alessi. Now Clark. That's a smashing ball out to Mehmeti. Another teasing ball in towards the back post. Taylor tried to have a go on the volley. It still breaks for him. Jiba kept going. He cuts it back, but via a deflection, the Thunder will have to settle for a corner. Another lovely ball from Mehmeti. Whenever he's able to gallivant forward. That one looking to find Yoshida, who'd stolen a march at the back stick. Taylor went for the spectacular on the volley. In the end, they keep it alive enough. Mehmeti to take. It's a packed area, crowded 6-yard box. The ball's right on top of it for Van Amerongen, couldn't get contact. Alisandratos flicked away. Sharks might be able to clear their lines. They do well. Markowski kicked it anywhere. Mehmeti looks to hook it back in. Van Amerongen had timed it. Jallo may have stolen a march too early. Clark continued play without knowing the offside flag had been raised. That defensive line did its job all right. Jallo might have been a touch eager. There's Romic. Had plenty at his feet, yet to make a save. Camis. McCloskey. Lovely touch inside. Jiba stole in well. Alessi resets to Jamie Young. Mehmeti. Van Amerongen. That press is high. They work it well back to Young. Yoshida's dropped deep to provide support. He uses Alessi. Tries to drill one in for Decker in the channel. Serra alert to the danger and will let it trickle out of play. That was a searching ball by Jamie Young. Decker's stolen a march a couple of times in between the lines. That time Serra alert to the danger. His reactions will have to be good as he's already on a yellow. Throws down the line. Jiba trying to hustle McCloskey. In the end, Alessi stuck a foot in. Press implemented very high. Vakurtzis tried to go long down the line. They dropped deepest. It broke for Hassan Jallo. That's a super stop. Romic got down wonderfully. Trajewski took a heavy touch. It broke for Hassan Jallo. And for the first time he's called into action this evening, Luka Romic made the smartest of saves. It is yet another Thunder corner. 20 minutes in and they've had the first and best look Can they capitalise on a good period of pressure? Taylor's take. Lovely ball again. Mehmeti got up highest. Couldn't avert his header on target. He stole a march on his marker. And in the end went up unchallenged. The Sharks happy to see off yet another wave. Thunder now really looking to turn the screw. As Muyet, lovely ball. Zrajewski keeps it calm. Vakurtis. For Kamis. Lovely ball wide for Serra. And McCloskey down the line. But it was Wade Decker who made the intervention. And it will be a Port Melbourne throw-in. They've tried to use it well when they've had it. And they're trying to work it well down the line. They've run out of room in the end. Nicholas Gibb trying to play an inventive ball in behind. As they haven't been able to exploit too much in between the lines so far of this Dandy Thunder defence. McCloskey had advanced for him. Alisandratos too. This ball had too much on it. Chiba for Decker. Took it down and was hustled by McCloskey, who's been quick to initiate the press. Jallow. Decker hit the deck. And Dandenong Thunder will have a free kick. Alessi. Young left it for Van Amerongen. Mehmeti. Romanovski went early. Clark. Mehmeti once more. He now gets to use Romanovski, who took a heavy touch. And in the end, Alisandratos did well to steal in. Muyet. Liban sold him short, and it breaks for Clark, who is bearing down. He rolls it square for Hassan Jallow. Blocked once, not twice. It rolls for Romanovski, and via a deflection, Dandenong Thunder hit the front. He took it oh so coolly. Did Jay Romanovski. And after an opening 20 minutes where the Thunder have looked the more likely, ever-increasing pressure, they have just reward. And they worked it wonderfully. Port Melbourne playing themselves into peril and were punished. Jallow couldn't quite get the finish. He was denied not once but twice by two desperate defensive efforts. But when it fell to Romanovski, he picked his spots and found it. The Sharks now have it all to do. Kamis. Muyet. That Thunder press. Clark initiating it. Taylor joined in as well. Muyet did beautifully to beat it. Flicked wide for Vakurtis. That's a smashing ball towards the channel. Van Amerongen read it best. That's a lovely dive in by Markovski. It'll be a goal kick in the end, but that Port Melbourne press is something they will need to practice more now they're chasing. Van Amerongen, short for Young. Alessi. Pressed ever so tightly. Kamis won up in the end. He had Jallow for company. And that header was thunderous. Crashed into the roof. As Alessi back for Young. Van Amerongen. Mehmeti. And having given results last night, the Thunder needed to win this in order to keep up with the chasing pack, looking to apply the pressure to those from Avenger Park. As it stands, they will do just that. Both Heidelberg and Oakley were successful in their fixtures. As Young tried to look wrong for Romanovski, Vakurtis read it best. There's a chance to drive out from the back. Dib did it well. That's a smashing 1-2. Dib has a yard to roam into. A teasing ball into the back post. McCloskey made it work best. Jiba recovered nicely. And in the end, Yoshida comes away with it. That was a smashing ball from Nicholas Dibb. Markowski was looking to time it best. But in the end, Jiba alert to the danger. Taylor, lovely ball for Clark. He's got Romanovski. Face to face with Vakurtis. Did he run out of room? Yes, he did. Such an important fixture at both ends of the table. The Thunder edging it at the moment. Port Melbourne with a couple of promising looks, but nothing to too much fruition. Thunder wants to press. Muyet. Romic. Shifts it wide for Kamis. Has options down the line. Serra's one of them. He tries to go by Yoshida. Does via a fortuitous touch. Not once, but twice. In the end, he managed to keep it in play. Romic. Muyet once more. Thunder happy to let them have it as it is. That's a smashing switch from Romic for Serra, who took it down nicely. Jiba stuck a foot in. Decker came away with it. Looked to find a way beyond Kamis, but nothing doing. Alessi. Back for Jamie Young. As it stands, they move within 5 points of the summit, do the Thunder. And will keep a brilliant unbeaten record at this ground, well and truly intact. Alessi. Jiba. Yoshida pressed well. Laban came away with it. Port Melbourne might have the opportunity to break. Trachevsky for Laban, who continued his run. Skipped by Jiba. Taylor read it best on the edge. Kept it calm. Yoshida came away with it. Took a heavy touch. Jallo tried to split two. Muyet came and put a stop to his efforts. Looked to clip it into the area, and in the end, McCloskey had to let it run as he was offside, and Jamie Young can gather. Taylor. So often the conductor in midfield. Yoshida. Alessi. Has options left and right. Chooses to return with Jamie Young. And having scored that first goal, you sense the urgency for Dandenong Thunder. Hasn't gone out of them, but it's allowed them to be more calculated in their approach. Port Melbourne now must do the pressing. They must do the chasing. They must leave themselves exposed and take the gamble if they are to get themselves level. Jiba tried to clip one for Decker down the line. Serra stuck a good foot in. There's Alessi. Van Amerongen. De Graafschap youth graduate Van Amerongen for Clark. Alessi. Taylor, who dropped deepest. Trying to twist and turn his way through. That's a gorgeous ball. Tried to help it on for Jallo. And in the end, they come away with it. Muyet tried some footwork to get free. Decker tried to play Jallo, who might have gone early. Kamis put an end to it. Muyet came away with it once more. Skipped by 1 and 2. Taylor tried to press. Now he's got Romanovski for company. Still carrying on is Muyet, who has done marvellously. That is brilliant evasion. For Curtis. Showed such composure. Did the centre half. He was truly in choppy waters, but was able to sail through calmly as McCloskey's the long option. Jiba one up. Decker kept it in. Trachevsky came away with it. Looked for Laban. Jallo stole in. Laban now hustled. 2 to beat. Decker stuck a foot out. And Port Melbourne will retain it. Coming on an entertaining first half hour. Both sides have had a couple of looks. Dandenong Thunder with the only goal thus far. A coolly taken finish by Jay Romanovski. Currently the difference maker as Jamie Young is Hustled by Markowski. They continue to add that press. Clark took a touch. Immediately had two Sharks circling, and in the end, Dibb was able to stick a foot in. Van Amerongen. For Alessi, it may open up for the Thunder if they go quickly. He finds Taylor. That's a smashing switch towards Romanovski. And in the end, Vakurtis did beautifully. Muyet came to mop up. Alessandratos, Yoshida. Won it back. Taylor. For Alessi. Jeeba's enjoying a free couple of yards over on the right-hand side, and he's found. Down the line for Decker. Once again has Sarah hot on his heels. Trying to work his way round, twisting and turning, and in the end can't find his way through. Port Melbourne able to come away with it. A small stumper gives Decker another opportunity. Markowski tried to get it under. Van Amerongen did brilliantly. Markowski made it work. And he finds Taylor. Now driving. Invites Jeeba. Fired one in. It flew to the edge of the area. Bodies hit the floor. Alessandratos looked to come away with it. Yoshida managed to keep it going for the Thunder. Now Mehmeti. Romanovski. Yoshida. As Vakurtis the beat. Tries to clip one in. That's a beautiful ball. Romic didn't get there. Anywhere will do for the Sharks. They couldn't get it further than Mehmeti. He's looking to skip his way down the line. Vakurtis stuck a foot in, and the Thunder have another corner. That was fizzed into the front post from Yoshida. Romic came to punch. Didn't get a lot of contact on it. The Sharks are flirting with fire. Corner taken quickly and short. Clark. Markowski stayed down. Maybe a bit of feeling in that challenge. They look to take it quickly, but the referee wants to stop things. Just to make sure the well-being of Markowski is attended to. Taylor. Plays it back for Romanovski, who's got Clark. Romanovski trying to twist his way through. Vakurtis in the way once more. It is another Thunder corner. You can still hear the Port Melbourne protests down on the touchline. Unhappy with a challenge that had a little bit more feeling left in it than they thought was enough. Taylor's take. It's fired into the near post. The clearance isn't quite there. Van Amerongen stuck a leg out. Muyet dived in well as it needs to break to Taylor again. And once more, Port Melbourne do just enough to clear the lines for now. Romanovski will give the Thunder a chance to reload. Decker's broken down the line. Taylor more centrally. Now Taylor goes for him. He's found. Decker drifted infield. He's trying to find Romanovski once more. Instead uses Mehmeti. Now Decker. Tried to find Yoshida. Didn't quite come for him. Can Port Melbourne cause something on the break? Yoshida dangled a leg in on McCloskey. And it will be a Port Melbourne free kick. Just over 10 minutes plus stoppage time remaining until the main break. Port will need to throw something at it if they are to get themselves level before half-time and give themselves the opportunity to potentially smash and grab in the second period. It's Kamis. Back for Romic. Muyet. Smashing ball inside. Laban. Pressed by Yoshida, who's continued on. That's a lovely little clip in towards Dibb. Van Amerongen read it best. Romanovski. A bit too hot to handle for the Dutchman. Port Melbourne protests, and this time they will have it. Vakurtis. For Laban once more. Muyet. He's had a busy first half. Dibb. Who's come deeper, trying to make things happen. Now Kamis. face to face with Hassan Jallow. He showed too much of it to him. Jallow stole away. Khamis a bit too overeager to win it back. And Jallow's tenacity on the press will win him and the Thunder a free kick. Could be dangerous if they choose to go forward. Yoshida took it quickly and shortly to Alessi. Now Young. Van Amerongen. Alessi once more. Yoshida. Been so important in their recent run of good results. Was the goal scorer in their defeat at Oakley last week. He has been a live wire and a bright spark for this side so far. Van Amerongen, that's a lovely ball to find Mehmeti. Clips it down the line for Romanovski, who did well to steal a yard. Romanovski's ball in. Romic can claim unharmed this time. A bit too much whip on it to the near post. Trying to work something for Jallow. Maybe more so Decker to attack at the back stick. He'd made the run as Liban. Pressed hard, found Muyat. Romic for Khamis. Serra has Liban inside. Chooses to go back for Khamis. Romic. So we can give you an update. Half time at Paisley Park. Deadlock still unbroken. It is 0-0 between Altona Magic and South Melbourne. As Romic and Port Melbourne are enjoying a spell of possession, although it hasn't been in a threatening position for the Thunder. They're looking to provide some calm and have a look before half-time. McCloskey got up well, had Jeeper to beat in the air. And in the end, Alessi is there first on the scene to mop up. Young to assess his options. Markowski ambling his way forward. Jamie Young looking to draw in. Alessi. Short for Decker, who was put under pressure. Port Melbourne win it back nicely. Taylor cut across the stifle at the danger. It nearly broke for Markowski. Alisandratos trying to factor something in towards that back post. Jamie Young happy to watch it wide. It was curling and dipping, but unfortunately not moving its way on target for the Sharks. Trajewski won that back beautifully on the press as well, instigating that attack. As Young. This game lulls into a hush as we head towards 5 minutes plus stoppage time before the end of the first half. Alessi for Van Amerongen. It has been one of Dandenong Thunder control, if not thrill. Romanovski for Van Amerongen, a bit too short for him. Markowski able to steal away from it. His ball in turn couldn't find anybody other than Jeeper, who has an acre to run into. He's got Decker down the line. Jallow and Clark have stormed in. It was there for Jallow. Clark found a way. A boot was stuck in by Muyat. Jeeper kept going, had a stab, and Romic did beautifully, not only to save, but to claim and not give away a corner. It's where they've looked most dangerous, this Thunder side so far. Whether they've forayed down that right-hand side, Jeeper has had a beautiful steal of a march, and McCloskey tried to get one on Alessi, who stuck a leg out. Serra's throw-in. McCloskey trying to work their way out of a cul-de-sac dip. Sol McCloskey just short, and the Thunder once again will be able to see it out. Port Melbourne just with a couple of costly errors in their build-up. It led to the only goal of this game so far, as Trajewski is pressed well by Decker. Yoshida's now got the chance to go. He's got Romanovski. Muyat stuck a brilliant boot in. He judged that to perfection. Trajewski now able to drive. Appeals for a free kick. Mehmeti put an end to it. Taylor skipped away from one. Jeeba advanced for him. He tried to draw the press, but instead drew trouble. It breaks away for Trajewski, who looks to drive beyond Alessi. Could have pulled the trigger, but Alessi stole in the end. Jeeba might be able to go the other way, as poor Melbourne had an opening. Laban trying to work it for Markovski. Clark for Romanovski. Muyet tried to hassle him. He now has Vakurtis to beat. Romanovski for Clark, who continued his run well into the back stick. That is a brilliant clearance. Judged ever so calmly by Laban, who could clear his lines. Tib gave it away, only as far as Romanovski. Vakurtis, who's been busy in this first half, puts another sound foot in. Markovski tried to keep it alive. Van Amerongen came away with it. Jamie Young wants to be the one to reset. Alessi breaks for him. Vakurtis has been valiant in his defensive display in this opening 45 minutes. He's had a lot to handle. This back three, Mehmeti in particular, down the left-hand side, looking to cause those overloads and those problems. And he's given Romanovski plenty of space to operate in, as Van Amerongen drifts deep into Port Melbourne territory. Mehmeti, another teasing ball to the back post. He was able to pick out Decker, who hits the bar. Muyet tries to get it away. That was a beautiful ball in from Mehmeti. Taylor came away with it. Found Jallo. Quick 1-2. Decker once more. Beautiful for Jallo. That is a simply marvellous Dandenong Thunder second. They worked that wonderfully. And Hassan Jallo on the end of a decisive move. A smart 1-2. Decker's ball was diligent. And Jallo is now jubilant. Before half-time, that is exactly what they would have needed. And the Thunder lead 2-0. Sumptuous. That is all you can say about that goal. Decker involved, having crashed one against the bar moments earlier. He played a ball of incision and weight. Jallo picked his spot and rolled ever so calmly. Beyond Luka Romic, who could do very little. And it is once again the failure to clear their lines that comes back to bite the Sharks. 2 down on the road. The Thunder getting their second with 2 minutes to go before the main break. And it had been coming. 2 spells of pressure. Sustained pressure for 2 goals. As Taylor found Clark, and they may be able to set Jallo away again. Vakurtis stuck a foot in. Trajewski ran into him. Kamis tried to clear the danger. Markovski found it. Cleared away from Yoshida. Muyet switches for Sarah. Laban. Face to face with Yoshida. Lovely ball for Sarah, who's continued well. Alessi was alert to it. Alessandratis tried to come and create the press. Jamie Young in turn. Anywhere will do for him. Laban's able to make sure it doesn't clear the way of Thunder. It doesn't let the pressure off and allows Port to continue their push to get back into this game. Muyet. And they would have been galvanised by Paisley Park's stalemate. They would have seen it as an opportunity. It is not going the way they would like currently. Vakurtis. A bit behind Kamis. Romic read it beautifully. Laban. Can they find an avenue back before half-time? Laban's ball teasing for Markovski, who took it down well. Switch for Vakurtis, who's allowed to venture forward. Alessandratos. Trying to clip one in teasingly. It's a lovely ball. Alessi got up nicely. Markovski joined him. Taylor came away with it. Mehmeti. Romanovski. Drifts inside. Yoshida. Alessi's advanced. Yoshida once more. We will have 1 minute of stoppage time. At the end of the first half. As Van Amerongen for Alessi. Young. Spin a half, the Thunder have controlled very nicely. 2 goals for their efforts. And their press has worked better. They forced 2 mistakes. As Alessi clips for Jallo, that's a smashing ball. Jallo looked to flick beyond Camise. Muyet helped his centre-back partnership mop up. Yoshida came away with it. Muyet dived in well. McCloskey may have some room to run into. Decker tried to come back in defensive support. McCloskey ran himself into a cul-de-sac. Serra came away with it. And now Robic. For Kurtzis. Alessandratos, he will have the final action of what has been a first half of Dandenong Thunder dominance. Creating most of the opportunities, were able to take 2. That second in particular, the most smashing of moves. But half-time at George Andrews Reserve, the Thunder right now looking to keep in the chase with Avondale. It is the Dandenong Thunder 2, Port Melbourne 0. So we return from half-time in Dandenong after a truly fascinating first 45 minutes where the Thunder showed a lot of control and have a 2-0 lead as a result. Port Melbourne are going to make a change at the break. Thomas Alessandratos is making way, and Delano Ferro is now brought into the action. All the possibilities for Port to get back into this would have been pondered at half-time. They have a small mountain to climb. It certainly is not Everest. However, they must leave base camp and get on the march as soon as they can. Time is of the essence. Whereas for the Dandenong Thunder, you sense the message might be much of the same is required. As they showcased coolness and composure. And scored 2 beautifully sweeping goals. The second wasn't that fantastic. Hassan Jallow finished in some style. As Port Melbourne have the kick-off, and they have it all to do. On a gorgeous Saturday night in Melbourne's southeast. Looking to get on the climb straight away. Sarah for Dib. Trajewski. Ferro nearly had his first involvement. Trajewski trying to find a way by Yoshida. Ferro does get that touch. Clips it into Decker. They'll keep it with a throw-in. Protest for handball. Waved away by our 4th official. As Dib runs out of room. Yoshida quick to take the throw. Looking for Jallow. He will resume battle with Kamis. One in which he got the better of in the first half, constantly on the press. Constantly looking for any slip or stumble. As it is chilly, there is no warmth about this Saturday night in Dandenong at all. As Decker wins in, looks to clip away, nearly heads towards us in the commentary box, and Melbourne, Port Melbourne, will have a throw-in. Serra told to surrender a couple of yards before taking his throw. Takes it short for Dib. Serra now looking to drive. Yoshida looked to hack it away. Dib was the one who came away with it. Took it down with an immense touch. That's a beautiful turn by Markowski, who's still looking to go. Ferro can stand one up. Jamie Young comes to claim and does so without any problems. It was a teasing ball from Ferro. Certainly a positive first involvement, and Port Melbourne will hope he has many more of those. As Van Amerongen, former Meti, who was able to maraud forward many a time in that first half. He's looking on the switch for Jiba. Serra came across and covered beautifully. Jallow was hot on the press. He was able to round Romic. Clark wanted it in the middle. Taylor looks to make the best of it. It broke away for Yoshida. But once again, Port Melbourne caught on their heels, and Hassan Jallow being a handful. Yoshida looks to give Jiba down the line. Clips inside for Decker, that's gorgeous. The weight on it for Jiba, who looks to stand one up for Clark, who's arriving. It comes all the way to the back post for Romanovsky, who can find the side netting. A J. Romanovsky double. Fell right at his feet. He couldn't apply the finishing touch, but it was a devilish ball from Jiba all the way onto the back post. Port Melbourne riding their luck inside the opening 5 minutes of the second half. The Thunder so easily could have trebled their lead. Serra. Jiba came away with him. More Port Melbourne protest. He looks to give Jallow down the line. Kamis certainly getting physical. Jallow held up well. Jiba continues his run. And in the end, Laban came across to sweep up expertly. Update with a quarter of an hour to go at Paisley Park. Still 0-0. However, Altona are down to 10. And South Melbourne certainly pushing for a goal that would mean a huge win for them and finally snap a truly wretched run of form for Esteban Quintas' outfit. Port Melbourne would have seen that at the break and know that if they were to get something from it, if that game ends level, it is a point in the right direction. However, Van Amerongen and the Thunder are looking to continue the status quo. Taylor. Alessi. Lovely ball. Decker for Taylor once more. Jeeba has 2 to beat. Sarah stuck a foot in. Jeeba came away with it. Taylor recycles to Alessi, who in turn finds Jamie Young once more. And the Thunder can just put a lid on things for the moment. Alessi. That's a lovely switch. Gives Vakurtzis something to do in this second half. Romanovsky came away with it. Mehmeti. Now Taylor. Just looking to turn the screw and add another one. That's a lovely clip from Mehmeti in towards Taylor, who took a heavy touch, and Mouillet was able to clean up for Port Melbourne. Those two have certainly had a luscious link-up this evening. As Jalo turns away beautifully from not one but two. Kept it going, looked to find Yoshida. Trajkowski put a foot in. Markowski was the one who came away with it. Yoshida didn't give up on it. Decker had to roll back for Alessi. But Yoshida had so much urgency to keep that ball. That was wonderful play. As Clark. Mehmeti. Taylor on the turn. Invited to drive. Nobody's quite closed him down. He rolled it wide for Romanovsky, who stole a yard. Jeeba got up at the back post. Ferro looking to find a way out of the press. Sarah provided him just that. He clips long. That's a brilliant ball. Markowski took it well on the turn. Looks to go quickly. McCloskey might be able to steal one away from Van Amerongen, but he swept up. And Jamie Young is happy to start all over once again. Van Amerongen. Young. Alessi. Jallo looking to hustle. Serra was the one who came away with it. Leban. Mouillet. Vakurtzis. Rolled under Mouillet's foot. Romic able to come and claim. Kamis. Mouillet once more. It's a patient Port Melbourne build-up. As Leban rolled one in well. McCloskey took that beautifully on the turn. Yoshida dived in. He's waved on. Trajkowski came away with it. Looked to switch for Ferro. And there is a handball. Right on the edge of the area. Port appealing for a penalty, but will have to settle for a free kick. I don't think they'll take one from much closer. No one to protest Ferro's taking. Maybe Leban as a second option. Four in the Thunder wall. An opportunity perhaps, although it would take something spectacular. An opportunity to get themselves back into it. It is Ferro's free kick. It is brilliant! That is a wonderful goal, and Port Melbourne have a pulse. That was something special. And Ferro, who was introduced at half-time, may well have got Port Melbourne back into this. It had the dip, it had the swerve to take it away from Jamie Young, who was helpless. A gorgeous goal. And all of a sudden, it is a one-goal game. Alessi. Yoshida. Trying to twist and turn his way from 2. He does brilliantly. He drew Markovic and then returned to Young. Van Amerongen. Alessi. Nothing doing. He returns home. Markowski leading the press again. Yoshida's going to be hustled by Laban, who dived in. Van Amerongen came away with it. Clark now helping to break the lines. Mehmeti. Dib in well. And the Thunder will have to set from a throw-in. Van Amerongen. Mehmeti. Young. Alessi. That free kick has sparked something in this side. Pressing higher, coming out with more confidence than we saw in the first half. Winning high up as well. Dib for Ferro. Laban. Danced his way by Decker. Khamis. Muyet. Port Melbourne pressing for an equaliser. Ferro looked to go for Serra down the channel. Alessi came away with it. Jiba took it under control well in a perilous situation. He finds Jallo, who could go beyond Khamis if he chooses. Turns his way indoors. Decker. Taylor came away with it. Trachevsky dived in. The Thunder will have a free kick. But Jallo and Decker's link-up play has been so important for the Thunder this evening. It's brought tangible attacking opportunity. And allowed them so much freedom and run as Hassan Jallo is a man who simply does not tire. That's a clever free kick from Alessi. Jeeper's stolen a yard. Has Serra to beat, who's been booked. Jeeper does well and wins a corner. We approach the hour mark. And the Thunder have been rocked early in the second half. As Mehmeti rather saunters over to the corner flag. Without too much urgency. Don't know if it's quite the time for that yet. Will be Mehmeti's take. Fizzed in towards Van Amerongen, who got up. Not once but twice cleared off the line. A scramble and it has found its way in. A 2-goal lead reinstated. Hassan Jallo may well have got the final touch once more. And the Dandenong Thunder have reinstated that 2-goal cushion at the most crucial time. My apologies, it may well be Kyle Taylor. He took a lot of the plaudits. It was a 6-yard box scramble. Port Melbourne didn't deal with it. And the Dandy Thunder pressure, those simple bodies in the box, it was a bit of pinball before finding its way into the back of the net. And behind it all, Van Amerongen is down. The Dutch centre-half requiring some treatment. It was he who got up highest. Looking to apply a thumping header. He'll have to make way momentarily. Will Van Amerongen, so the Thunder will restart with 10. For the time being at least. Port Melbourne, having taken the ascendancy at the start of this second half, having pressed as hard as possible, got their goal back through a strike fitting of a Pharaoh. But the Thunder once more reinstate that cushion. Corner was scrappy but successful as far as they're concerned. And the Sharks now must find a way to get out of choppier waters. Dib. He is pressed well and truly by Decker. He won a free kick. And then Decker hit the floor. Serra looks to put an end to all that and get things going once more. Vromic. Muyet. Lepan. Now Kamis. Pharaoh. Looking to play. That's a gorgeous ball for McCloskey. Too much on it. Jamie Young came to claim. But Pharaoh, since coming on, has been the most potent of these Port Melbourne attackers. Scored from a delicious free kick. And that ball was searching, but Young alert to the danger. Mehmeti looks long to Clark, nods it down for Romanovsky. Inside for Taylor, has two to beat, goes back to Mehmeti once more. The press well and truly coming off. Markovsky might be able to wriggle away. He's still going, he's broken his way through. Pharaoh once again. The Thunder get enough bodies in the play, in the way to make the block. And Port Melbourne will have to settle for a throw-in. We've ticked over an hour. 3-1 to Dandenong Thunder. As Dib. Gorgeous 1-2. Such an ability to drive. Yoshida stuck a leg in. Stopped it completely. Van Amerongen looked to get it away. Mehmeti now can clear his lines. Jallo couldn't get it under. Muyet might mop up, but he's left it. And now Jallo has two with him. Chooses to go for Decker. It is Decker once more. It is 4-1 on the break. And just like that, the Thunder rip it away from Port Melbourne. Jallo was tireless in his efforts. It was Muyet's mistake. He rolled it for Decker, who stayed wide. And he was able to drill it under Vromic. And having been on the cusp of a comeback merely 15 minutes ago, Port Melbourne now find themselves 4-1 behind. It was a lightning counter-attack. And Jallo could have gone on his own. Instead kept his cool and rolled it to Decker. Those two combining once more to bring Dandenong joy. But for Port Melbourne, it may be deeper into the mire. Kamis for Muyet. Of course, every point crucial with how tight those bottom five teams are at the moment. Had an opportunity to climb 10th with all three this evening, but it has not gone to plan. Kamis for Serra. Lovely little clip down the line for Dib, who looked to return it to him as inventively, unless he came away with it. Jallo being hustled. Kamis pulled him to the floor. Yoshida looked to keep going. He's got away from Lepan, who dived in. And this time, it will be a yellow card. Lepan found his way into the book as Yoshida bared down. After Kamis and Jallo came together. That's what the protests are about. Both in a tussle. As a free kick's taken quickly. Taylor for Van Amerongen. Mehmeti. Clark. Romanovsky. Mehmeti once more. Now Taylor. Alessi. Works it wide for Jiba. Decker's made a run in between the lines. Jiba drifts inside, finds Jallo. They look to link up once more. Yoshida can recycle. Tchaikovsky dived in heavily. It will be a Thunder free kick. And this one might be just in the territory of tiptoeing over boiling point. Tchaikovsky left a leg out. Dangled it in Yoshida's direction. And it will be a Thunder free kick. Mehmeti and Taylor debating who will take this one. Taylor looks to have won out. It is Taylor's ball in, loopy towards the back post, and too long for anybody to make any meaningful run. It may very well be the first time a set piece has been wasted by the Thunder this evening, who've looked to put Romic under as much pressure as possible. Muyet. Looking to search long. Pharaoh's going to give that a good chase. Jamie Young had the situation under control. Happy to soak some time up, draw Markowski in. And give Dandenong Thunder their shape back. Van Amerongen. Clark. For Mehmeti. That's gorgeous for Romanovski, who timed his run perfectly, so it would seem. Muyet stole in, he too, the challenge timed to perfection. Thunder throw-in. Romanovski for Mehmeti, who's looked to fizz one in towards Jallo. Muyet got his feet right at the right time. He comes away. Dib looks searchingly, audaciously for Pharaoh. Jiba happy to clean up. Van Amerongen. Young. Alessi. Now Taylor. Van Amerongen. Mehmeti. Jallo was on the march. Mehmeti's taken his time. Looked to clip down the line via a deflection out of play. The Thunder have a throw. Romanovski for Jallo. Clips it back for Romanovski, face to face with McCloskey, who stuck a foot in well. The problem for Port Melbourne is possession. They can't seem to find any at the moment. And when they do, it comes straight back. Yoshida. Van Amerongen. Alessi. Taylor. Wide for Jiba. Has two to beat. Once again, him and Decker combining. Jiba tried to run Pharaoh down. He went to ground and still came away with it. Decker continued his supporting run. Has Taylor wide. Taylor looked to drive one into the near post. Liban got a leg in. Pharaoh cleared his lines. Decker took a loose touch. Yoshida got dived in on. Markowski timed it well. Alessi came away with it. And Mehmeti looks to fire one in for Decker at the back stick. Just had too much on it. He'd advanced nicely. Had Decker his support work brilliant so far this evening. As Khamis. What bite have the Sharks got left? 22 minutes plus stoppage time to try and salvage something. So Robic. Van Amerongen happy to clean up. Goes home to Jamie Young. The press initiated by McCloskey, who is bearing down. Young scuffed his clearance. Tchaikovsky tried to get a shot away. Pharaoh came away with it. Slipped it through the legs of Yoshida. Alessi was able to put a stop to any Port Melbourne pressure. Taylor's now breaking away. Jallo's continued his run. Decker's gone centrally. Romanovski's arrived at the far post. Jallo's looking to go alone. That is out of this world. Hassan Jallo with a truly beautiful goal. It is 5-star Thunder football. Jallow skipped his way by 2, 3, 4 and found the net with the deftest of finishes. Gorgeous. Simply and utterly gorgeous. It was a mazy, tricky run. No one dared dangle a leg. The Thunder 5-1 in front and now decide it is time to change. It's Miley entering, as is Elmazi. That was simply scintillating. What a goal from Hassan Jallow. As those first substitutions are made, Decker makes way. A good night's work for him. As does Daniel Alessi, who has occupied that defence with authority this evening. Both have been crucial. And Port Melbourne too make a change of their own. Nicholas Tibb, who certainly gave it everything, looked to be as creative as possible, makes way for Aidan Brown. What can they try and salvage from an evening that is turning into a touch of a wreckage? The Thunder well and truly at their brilliant best. Hassan Jallow epitomising that with the most exquisite of goals. The attention for Port Melbourne now may well and truly turn ahead in a moment as Pharaoh's stolen a march on Jiba. He's looking to twist and turn, look to give Sarah down the line. The ball too heavy and they run out of room. For Port, it is a trip to Goulburn Valley in the Cup up next. The next league games up against Hume at home. Then they come back to Dandenong to face City. Host Altona. And then a tough test is Heidelberg. As Yoshida rolls one for Dajiba. That's a beautiful ball. Khamis mopped up well the first time. Then a nice bit of footwork to get away. Pharaoh came to support him. Yoshida was hot on his heels. That's a lovely clip for Brown. Lovely ball from Trachevsky. They might be able to snatch something on the break. It's rolled all the way for Markovsky. It opened up for him momentarily. He's skipped by Taylor and Markovsky fires over. Although the run on the break is positive. Markovsky got under it at the wrong moment. He'd worked it so well for himself. Skipped his way beyond Taylor. Looked to unleash the sweetest of strikes and he caught it well. Just couldn't keep it under. It's Mehmeti for Romanovsky. Lovely bit of footwork. Skips his way beyond. Clips it in for Jallow, who looks to give the return. That was a lovely touch. Romanovsky continued on. Had Verkurtzis for company. It broke the way of Clark. They keep it cool, the Thunder. First involvements for both Elmazi and Ismaili. It's Van Amerongen for Mehmeti. Lovely touch from Taylor. Jallow was able to get away with it. Ismaili. Now Jipa has Pharaoh to beat. Goes down the line for Yoshida. And Sarah once again across to cut out the danger at the expense of a Dandenong Thunder corner. Full time at Paisley Park, 0-0 between Altona and South Melbourne. Frustrating for both who are in desperate need of 3 points. But for them, it's a point away from Port Melbourne, as the Thunder look to prep another change. But first, Mehmeti whips a devilish corner in again. It's not dealt with. It broke for Ismaili. Good save from Romic, who got a strong hand. Successive corners for the Thunder. This time Taylor sauntering over. Quarter of an hour plus stoppage time remaining. This one as a contest may be signed, sealed and delivered. Yoshida faked a short run. He instead chose Clark, who did well to steal a yard. It's back out for Taylor. Romanovsky thought about it for a second. Instead gave it back to Taylor, who's looking to twist and turn. Lovely ball in again. And it will be another corner. Muyet got a crucial touch. And finally, the Thunder will get their turn to make a change. In fact, it may be paused. Akuen's introduction will have to wait longer. Lepan. Romic. Kamis. Jallo again hot on his heels as he has been all evening. Kamis looking to drive beyond. Pharaoh made it work. Face to face with Yoshida. Drifts indoors. Markovsky. Pharaoh. Trachevsky's dropped deep. Muyet came into it, looked to find Laban. Clark picked his pocket. Romanovsky's got room to roam into. He's looking to go. Skipped his way beyond wonderfully. Romanovsky's still going. He looked for the cutback. Romic got a hand. It falls to Ismaili. Trachevsky in the way. Taylor happy to recycle. Clark. Mehmeti, who's ventured forward. Teasing ball in towards Yoshida, who got up, but couldn't turn it goalwards for what would have been his 4th in 4 games. And now finally, the Thunder do get the opportunity to make that change. Jok Akuen, as Ben Jeeba makes way. Another solid night's work for him. And it is a change for Port Melbourne also. Muyet off for Jan Kulkowski. As Romic will restart. He looks long for Brown immediately. Romanovsky shifted over to this right-hand side. He presses Pharaoh. Serra. Kamis. Back for Romic. Kamis once more. Serra. Lovely touch. Laban. That's a gorgeous ball in between the lines. Brown has stolen the march. He is in. Aidan Brown can't get the shot away. In the end, that is some truly lovely defending from Almazi. He kept withing, having been turned, got goal side once more, and stuck a leg out with the most imperious of timings as Taylor. Almazi. Young. Van Amerongen. To carry the Dutchman. He couldn't find Taylor on the ball. Markovsky got away with it. Now Trachevsky. Pharaoh might have it open up for him. Looking to skip his way through. Pharaoh for a second. And once again, Almazi gets in the way. But Port Melbourne certainly trying to press for a goal that may prove only merely as consolation at this point. But the goal difference is important. They have a throw-in. Serra saunters across the take. It's taken short. Yoshida came away with it. Tried to find Jallo, who's just had a knack of getting a foot on everything this evening. Kamis. Jan Kulkowski. Now Laban. Trying to work his way through. Markowski. Lepan once more. Lovely 1-2 between those two. Works it wide for Serra. But for the first time this evening, had an inch. Lepan tried to clip over the top. Romanovski did well. Yoshida flicked it away. Jallo was short on it. Good win in by Trajkovski. Ferro was behind Trajkovski this time. Clark gets it away. Serra can reset. For Port Melbourne, it was all a bit sloppy in the end. Kasim. Lovely switch. That's a gorgeous ball. Can they work? Trajkovski looking to twist and turn his way through. He in turn finds Ferro with a truly beautiful Trivella. Ferro trying to work his way by Yoshida. Romanovski's come to cover. Ferro goes down. Appeals from Port Melbourne, nothing doing. Serra's able to fire a ball in. Jamie Young claims it the second attempt after a small bit of spillage. And he released quickly. Taylor. Mehmeti. Taylor once more. Van Amerongen. Ismaili. Romanovski. Looking to play Yoshida in. Serra read that well. Cut it out beautifully. Brown. Trajkovski. That's a gorgeous return. Brown made a good run down the line. He skipped inside Van Amerongen. Feet flying in everywhere. Not once but twice by Almazi. And in the end, Romanovski comes away with it. He sold Ismaili short, who dived in. Lepan got a foot in. And Jamie Young can recover. 9.5 plus stoppage time remain. And a big 3 points. This will be for the Thunder. As their next 5 present some marvellous opportunities to keep their glorious run going. And they have been at their best tonight. They travel to Melbourne Knights next week. Then have Altona in the Cup at home for hosting Victory's under-23s reserves. They travel to St Albans before the big one at home to Preston. What a game that will be. As Mehmeti clips in the channel for Jallo. That's a lovely take, not once but twice. And had the ball to find him. First involvements. Ball clipped away for a corner. It was a dancing run from Akuen. And it will be another double change for the Thunder. Using to truly use the full length of that bench. Mehmeti will make way. He comes off for Selimovsky. He's marauded forward on many an occasion. And the other change, Yuki Yoshida. His night comes to an end with 10 to spare. And Ivan Kosho enters the fray. And their first involvements. Maybe to get on the end of another Taylor corner. He fires in with pace to the near post. Trajkovski cleared well. Ricochets all the way out to Selimovsky. Jamie Young put under a bit of pressure by that ball back. Anywhere would do for him. Van Amerongen got up. It might break for Jallo. Kamis got a foot in this time. Clark came away with it. Looking to roll his way forward. He finds Kosho. Face to face with Serra. Dancing his way indoors, Kosho. Via a deflection wins a corner. But he's looking to continue on his merry way. He twisted and turned his way inside. With so much trickery. What a corner for the Thunder. In which Taylor will take. More activity on the Port Melbourne bench. Another double change. It's Taylor's corner. This one lofted towards the back post. Ismaili will make it work. Selimovski. Back for Young. Selimovski once more. Has options left and right. Chooses Ismaili. And they're happy just to keep it simple. Taylor. Works it wide. It's back with Jamie Young from Almazi. Brown trying to apply the press. Almazi opened up and looks to clip in the channel for Romanovski. Chalo look to give chase. They make a meal of the back pass. They just about get away with it to Port Melbourne. Kamis nearly played Romic into the most perilous of positions. Came away from Mikulski. Now Trajewski has a chance to break. Has Almazi to beat. McCloskey continued his run. In the end, he rang into a Dandenong Thunder wall. And Taylor tracks away. Kosho. Romanovski danced down the line for him. Kosho worked his way indoors. Now Taylor again. Selimovski. Almazi. Young. He's been happy to venture a long way out as he finds Ismaili with a lovely little clip. Skipped his way by Brown. Strong challenge by Markowski. They make it work still, the Thunder. Clark comes away with it. He has options left and right. Looks to find Chalo, who took a heavy touch. Trajewski comes away with it. Roll for Markowski. Lovely switch for Farrow. That's a great touch to take it down as well. Rolls for McCloskey. Serra. McCloskey once more. Tries to fire one towards the edge, and in the end it won't come to anybody but Selimovski. And he found his way to him through Akuen. As Young. Almazi. Romanovski. This time down the line for Kosho, who can have a charge if he wants to. Serra still has to be careful. Clark's gone down the line, allowing Kosho to move indoors. Jallo might find his way on the end of it. Doesn't quite. Trajewski turns for Farrow, and now Port Melbourne might have the chance to go on the break of their own. Teasing one to the back post. In the end, he runs out of room. And that has been the story of their evening as they make a double change. Nathan Dibb introduced, and Serra will make way, who, having been booked early, handled himself very, very nicely. He stayed on that tightrope with immaculate balance. As Markowski's evening also comes to an end. For Chichmit, it's Van Amerongen. Almazi. Young. Lovely ball. Selimovski was able to turn. Romanovski. Good steal in from Dibb as a first introduction. Trajewski trying to wriggle his way away. Almazi in strongly. It might break for Dibb to have a hit. And Jamie Young was alert to make a smart stop. That cutting edge is something Port Melbourne may wish they had more of this evening. Dibb looking to make an instant impact with a gallivanting run forward. Jamie Young called into action. Hasn't had too much to do this evening, but when called upon, he made sure he wasn't caught napping. Ball in is a good one. Young again, able to claim calmly. As Ismaili remains down and play will be halted momentarily. Looks like a knock. Ismaili seems okay. And Young rolls to Van Amerongen. What a season this has been so far for the Dandenong Thunder. It's been a great start. And they've continued this unbeaten home record this evening in imperious fashion. As Ismaili for Clark, who skipped by well. Romanovski's made a yard for himself. Clark couldn't quite find him. Jallow looked to instigate the press. Come away with it. That's a smashing turn from McCloskey. Port Melbourne wants a foul. Brown tries to keep it all going, and in the end, it will be halted. Akiwen and Brown with a little coming together. Yankulkowski rolled it into the path. Of McCloskey, who turned terrifically. As the evening's dying embers burn on. Yankulkowski. Leban. Has Vakurtzis down the line if he chooses. Decides to go for Kamis. Couldn't clip it beyond Kosho. There's numbers around it. Dib once again in the way. Trachevsky came away with it. Farrow. Dib continued his run. That's a lovely ball to find him too. Has Taylor to beat. Rolls it back for Farrow once more. It opened up for him. Romanovski got in the way. Trachevsky recovered. Farrow. Flag stayed down. Almazi stuck a foot in. Dib not happy to concede the corner. Instead, Romanovski can roam away with it. Kosho might have the chance to go on the break. Jallow came short for him. Trachevsky stuck a boot in. Selemovsky comes away. Taylor. For Young. As we have 4 minutes of stoppage time. As Selemovsky breaks his way through the press beautifully. Finds Kosho, who can look to switch. He can keep going. It's rolled into the path of Clark, who has Akiwen one more. Clark on the return. It may open up for him for a sixth. It's flashed just wide of the post. Thunder breakneck on the counter, looking to ice what has been a perfect evening for them. They keep up pace with those chasing Avondale. They make sure that there is a distinct top four. They're under pressure as Preston won yesterday eve, having them 2 points behind Dandenong Thunder at kickoff, but they have put an end to all of that speculation. They have been truly, truly wonderful. Late Port Melbourne throw. Trachevsky. Taylor came away with it. Kosho. Jallow. He's been that option all evening. It might open up for a late effort. Selemovsky got himself in the way brilliantly. It's Miley stuck a boot in. Akiwen might give chase to this. Yankulkowski came across to make sure that wasn't possible. Robic. Yankulkowski once more. Has Varkitsis. Looks to go in between the channels. Farrow's made that run on the blind side of Van Amerongen. He got up beautifully. Selemovsky looked to chase. Vakurtzis was able to get it back from Brown. Yankulkowski. Romic. Kamis. Pressed by Jallow. Dib. Has Romanovski to beat. Rolls it for Chichmit, who did well. Dib skipped by Taylor. Rolled it into the feet of Farrow. Chichmit. So clip one to Brown at the back stick. Van Amerongen got up. As too did Ismaili. Not once but twice to make the block. It broke away to Vakurtzis. That's a gorgeous touch. But his hit. Cross-turn shot. Flashes well wide of Jamie Young's goal. Van Amerongen. Young. This game sort of petering out as it started at such a furious pace this second half. Jallow, who can still roll, maybe for one more if they fancy a sixth. Kamis really tugging. He rolls for Kosho, who has options. Akiwen is one of them. Had a shot at goal. Vakurtzis made the block, but they were not letting up on the counter again. Kosho. Glorious flick. Akiwen, Yankulkowski did the right thing. Clark came away with it. Ismaili. Selimovski. Van Amerongen. Selimovski nearly sold short by Ismaili. Tchaikovsky came away with it. Ismaili made up for his error by recovering. Young. It has been the evening they will have dreamed of. They were tested throughout periods. Certainly the first quarter and hour of this second half, Port Melbourne threw everything they may have had at this Thunder side. A glorious free kick from Farrow. But in the end, it is a 5-star Dandenong Thunder who moved within 5 points of the top of the tree, established themselves in the top 4, and already in this season may well and truly be on the push for late season glory. Full time here in Dandenong, it was a performance which warranted the 3 points that they have got. Port Melbourne well and truly thunderstruck as Dandenong 5. They were that good, and it is the Dandenong Thunder 5, Port Melbourne 1.